This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
The X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, REL-MAR McConnell Media Company, the X-Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the X-Zone. I am Rob McConnell, coming to you from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, and around the world on the X-Zone Broadcast Network and our family of broadcast affiliates, satellite programming providers, and broadcast stations. If you'd like to check us out on Facebook, xzbn.net is the Facebook tag. And you can also find out all about us all over the social media, X-Zone Radio TV. And like to send an email? It's very simple, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. To find out the broadcast schedule for the X-Zone Broadcast Network, as well as the many great shows we have to offer you, the members of the worldwide X-Zone Nation, the website is xzbn.net. My guest this hour is Vicki Ann Bush. She is in Las Vegas, and she is a paranormal author. So why don't we bring Vicki on then? And Vicki, welcome to the X-Zone. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, Rob. First of all, let me say thank you for having me tonight.
A great pleasure.
I'm originally from New York, and I come from a long line of, how can I put this, women who are sensitive. I'm of Italian descent, and we've always, you know, as long as I could remember, kind of felt things, seen things, heard things. And I think that's why it comes out now in my writing, and why I do paranormal and why I feel so comfortable with it, because it's something I can relate to. We moved to Vegas many, many years ago, and I do enjoy living in the desert, but my roots are still back east.
You forgot one very important asset about being an Italian woman. You guys are great cooks.
Yeah, we are, aren't we?
Oh, God. I don't know.
My mom and grandma being the best.
Well, if it wasn't for beautiful Italian ladies and spaghetti and meatballs and pizza and all the wonderful dishes that Italian ladies make, you know, it would be a pretty boring time going downtown to a restaurant, I'll tell you.
Yes.
So how old were you when you had your very first paranormal experience?
You know, the clearest memory is after we moved from Queens to Long Island, and I was about 10. And I remember just at first just hearing things. It was a 2-story house. It was old, you know, had wood floors and everything. And I remember hearing like someone going up and down the stairs. Okay, that was the first time, as far as a vivid memory. And then after that, things just started to take off. I would do things like feel someone touching my cheek, or silly things like I had this giant sun earring, and I had a very flat carpet. So if you dropped something on it, you could see it right in front of you. I dropped the earring in front of me, go to pick it up, it was gone. I had a favorite book that I kept in the back of my closet up on top, Went to go get it one day. It was gone. Right before we were moving from New York because we moved to California first, my book was put back on the shelf. So, I mean, there's just on and on and on things that happened, and my mom experienced and my grandmother. But the funny part is my brother really never heard anything, and neither did my father. And that was the first. And that was kind of like an introduction to what was going to happen, through the rest of our lives. My daughters have inherited it as well. They see things, they hear things. Mm-hmm. We have seen, which is really funny, and we didn't know it, but my mom, myself, and my eldest daughter saw the same man. We didn't talk about it, so none of us knew that the other person was seeing it. And we just happened to be having a conversation one day, me and my mom, and she had mentioned about the man in a plaid shirt, and I said, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah." She was like, "I keep seeing this man in a plaid shirt." I said, "Oh my gosh, I see a man in a plaid shirt." So we started talking. My oldest daughter came in and said something, and she goes, "Oh yeah, the man in the plaid shirt. I see him all the time." No, and we didn't know that this was going on, and it had been going on for quite some time. We never really found out who it was, but apparently I'm learning things are attached to us as opposed to things.
All right, you and I have to take a break. We'll be back on the other side. Exonation, our guest this hour is Vicki Ann Bush. Her website, vickiannbush.com. She's also on Facebook, facebook.com/vickiann.bush.author. This is the X Zone. I am Rob McConnell. We'll be back on the other side of this break. Don't go away.
This is the X Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
How would you like to be able to read other people's minds? Well, the next best thing is here. When you know how to read a person's name, you know how the person thinks, feels, and behaves. Each letter in our name holds a key to unlock our true essence. Our name contains both our gifts and challenges in this lifetime. Mnemology science discovers personality secrets hidden in the placement of the letters of our names, including the first and last impression people remember about us. Sharon shows us how to interpret the arrangement of letters as outlined in her book, Know the Name, Know the Person. Sharon Lynn Wyeth created mnemology science after 18 years of research and testing her theories, and has supported thousands of people around the world in understanding themselves and others better. You'll enjoy Sharon's unique teachings as she shares her system to learn the gifts behind your given birth name. Even if you don't like your birth name, there are jewels in this book. If you're thinking of changing your name, ready to name your child, or wanting to get along better with others, this is the book for you. If you'd like to improve your relationships and change your life for the better, get the book today, Know the Name, Know the Person, or visit www.knowthename.com. That's www.knowthename.com.
Take a step back in time and discover old Florida cuisine at Marsh Landing Restaurant in Fellsmere, Florida. Enjoy delicacies such as frog legs, gator tail, catfish, and swamp cabbage, or enjoy the more traditional cuisine such as hand-cut Angus steaks, ribs, and seafood. Join us for breakfast with a southern flair featuring sweet potato pancakes, biscuits and gravy, and much more. Planning a party? Marsh Landing's private dining rooms can accommodate groups from 8 to 80 people. While you visit, enjoy the historic pictures, artifacts, and stories that line the walls. Marsh Landing is truly a unique experience. Marsh Landing Restaurant, 44 North Broadway in historic downtown Fellsmere, or visit marshlandingrestaurant.com. Marsh Landing, Old Florida cuisine at its best.
If you're a seeker, don't miss the inspiring book Shamanic Awakening, Between the Dark and the Daylight. This remarkable work chronicles shamanic counselor and indigenously trained dream decoder Sandra Cochran's 35 years of experience with diverse wisdom keepers throughout the Americas. Sandy's initiations across the British Isles, Turkey, Greece, and Egypt, combined with her knowledge of symbology, psychology, and myth, influence her dream blog and workshops. Sandy offers private readings, sacred international journeys, a meditative CD, and her book, Shamanic Awakening, to encourage you as you navigate your earth walk and create a deeper connection to yourself. Find this and more at her website, starwalkervisions.com.
Exonation, Vicki Ann Bush is our guest, www.vickiannbush.com. That's one heck of a dog you've got in the background.
He's a Great Dane.
You were giving us a bit of a pitch about one of the, I asked you for an example of your book and one of your books, and you were telling us about the archangel who married a demon, I would imagine, and they had a child together, right?
No.
All right, explain that to me.
It's okay. The Archangel Gabriel is married to Cassandra, who is an immortal, and they have a son, Luke.
Okay,
Luke
so the Archangel had a child with a mortal, or a semi-mortal.
With an immortal.
Immortal.
Mm-hmm. She was cursed. She was immortal, but she was cursed, so she's now immortal.
I've been doing this show now for 26 years, and I have never heard anybody say that an angel got married and had a child.
Yeah,
this is a first. How do people take the breaking away from traditional angels to an archangel who gets married and has a child?
The reason I did that was because I wanted to make them more human. That's what I was going for. Mm-hmm. And actually, I've gotten quite a good response.
I find that interesting, to be honest with you. So, what? All right, you write about the angels. You write about demons. What else do you write about?
I have a historical romance which has no paranormal in it.
Mm-hmm.
I write what I'm feeling at the time. Like I said, it's primarily paranormal, but there are other things that are going on,
Sure.
that needs to come out. And so if that's what I'm feeling at the time, then that's what I'm going to be writing.
So when you say need for things to come out, are you talking about something that is happening in the world? Are you talking about something that is happening in your immediate area? Or are you talking about something that is happening and you're feeling inside?
Something that is happening and I'm feeling inside.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So what was it like for the first time you wrote a manuscript? Oh, first of all, are you self-published or are you going through a publishing company?
I am traditionally published. I had my first publisher, like I said earlier, was children's books, and they're the ones that actually got me into young adult. My current publisher, Solstice Publishing, has primarily most of my titles.
Okay, great. What was it like the first time that you submitted a manuscript, and after it came back a few times and went back a few times, you finally, in the mail one day, found a box, and in that box was your book? How did you feel?
I cried.
Mm-hmm.
I had a glass of wine.
Love it.
Yeah, and it was an amazing feeling. Amazing.
What was it like the first time you saw one of your books in a store?
I cried.
Wait a sec. Did you have a book? You had a
it's so bigger than life to see that. It's just like, I still will pick up a book of mine and just flip through the pages and go, did I do this? I did this. I did this. It doesn't seem real to me sometimes.
What I have learned over the years that authors are people who are very persistent. They do not understand of the word failure. And this is what, in my opinion, what makes authors so great. They give so much of themselves within the covers of that book. Whether it's fiction, or whether it's nonfiction, whatever. People really don't understand the heart of an author unless they are married to one, unless one of their parents is an author, or unless they themselves are authors.
Boy, I think that's really true. I do. I think sometimes, my husband is, he's amazing. He's so supportive. But there are times where I think, I know sometimes it can't be easy for him.
Right.
Especially when, I'm so in, I say the zone, where the only thing I see is I've got to get this done. I've got to get this out. I have to finish this. But then as soon as I get it done and I finish it, something else starts, So it's a constant ride. There is no time off.
For you, what is the hardest part about being an author?
I think for me, it's boy, how can I say this? It's not so much rejection. It's that you wish that someone would just, when you're in a bookstore and you see someone pick up a book and they just flip through it and then they just put it down. They don't really look at it to see what the substance of the book is before they make that decision. That's hard for me. So, like, if I'm at a signing, I was at Barnes & Noble about 2 weeks ago, and you have people who come up and they're truly interested and they engage, and I love it. I love meeting the readers. It makes my day. But then you have people who come up and they'll barely look at the book. They flip through it. Oh, thank you. And they put it down and they walk away. And they have no idea what that book is about because they didn't maybe take the time to engage and talk to you.
But on the other side of the coin, with so many books out there, if a person wants to take the time to instead of just flipping through like that, you described that the person doing it at the bookstore, if they didn't do that, they would spend their life in a bookstore and not getting anything accomplished.
That's true. That's true. But if they're not really interested, I don't know. I guess, is it a curiosity then that we're sitting there with our pens in hand, and our books on the table? Are we a curiosity?
Could be.
Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm putting too much stock into it. Maybe it's just that, they're want to check it out.
You're not putting too much stock in it, for goodness sake. It's just like an artist. You're an artist. You're an artist who deals in words instead of paint, oils, sculptures, clay. You're an artist. So when you see your book, which is your masterpiece, your art that nobody else is getting, of course it'll be upsetting. That's only natural, hon.
My most favorite memory so far of a signing was I was doing The Queen of It, which is one of my children's books. And this little boy came over, he's about 7 years old, and he was shaking, because he had never met a real author.
Oh, wow.
He was the cutest little guy. He was so excited and so over the top. And his mom bought a copy of the book, and I signed it for him. And then she asked me if we could take pictures, and him and I took pictures together. And he was just the warmest, kindest little soul. And I swear I will carry that with me for the rest of my life. That was my most favorite. It made everything I do, seem worth it that day.
And I'm sure there's many moments like that happen that you just don't see because so many people buy your books when you're not around. And have you ever wondered how your book affects the life of somebody that you've never met?
Yeah, I do. And it's funny because I have the Garden of Two, which is the historical romance. And unbeknownst to me, someone that I casually know bought a copy. And she read it. And this woman, I just is like a champion for this book, okay? The way it affected her and what she got out of the story and how much she enjoyed it, she waves the banner, And it's funny because the only reason I know that is because she came up to me to tell me all this. But I often wonder, are there other people out there who feel that way about various books that I've written that I'll never meet?
I hear where you're coming from because a very dear friend of mine that I've known for over 30 years is an author. And he lives in Kelowna, British Columbia. And he's one of the sweetest guys you could ever meet. And he decided late in life to become an author. And I hear the same from my friend as I'm hearing from you when he's at a book signing, that he can't understand. I'm here, my books are here. Don't you want to come and ask me these questions? Don't you want to know about this? And I've heard this from other authors as well. But I think that authors are the unsung heroes in today's pop culture world, because when you're an author, you are giving somebody something that is very dear to you, whether it's your thought, whether it's your idea, whether it's your concept, whatever. And to read a book takes time. So when somebody sits down, picks up your book, and reads it, man, that is one heck of a compliment to all the hard work that you and other authors put into their daily life.
Yeah, exactly. And it is difficult because it does take time. It's not like you sit down and you watch a movie and 2 hours later you're done. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a commitment to a book. Because it's going to take some of your time. It's going to take more than just instant gratification. You have to take the journey.
I hear you. And, there is only one book that I have ever read cover to cover in one night. I got home from work, and this is many years ago when I was in the police force. I got home, and I just picked up this book. It was a pocket book, a paperback. And I figured, I'm just going to read this, and I'm just going to unwind. Well, 3 pages into this book, I was hooked. And I read it until the next day when I had to go back to work.
Wow.
I just immersed myself into this book. And I love reading because within your mind, when you're reading, you create the set. You create the characters. You create the backdrop. Mm-hmm. People who love to read are very, very imaginative people.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And once again, you, the author, bring this inner imagination to the front and make it happen for this person, because he leaves one world of reality, or he or she leaves one world of reality and enters the world that you have created for them. Stand by, Vicki Ann. You and I have to take our final break for this hour. X-Zone Nation, Vicki Ann Bush is our special guest. And her website is www.vickiannbush.com. We'll both be back. Don't go away.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
There's a legend shared by many indigenous cultures of a time when the nations were cast to the four corners of the world. Each nation was given a body of sacred knowledge that held a different portion of the truth to preserve. True reality could not be known until all the nations reunited, combining the information. If a single one was missing, the world could not be reborn and darkness would prevail. The Science of Magic Radio is dedicated to reuniting the sacred knowledge. With the understanding, none of us has all the answers, but together we can open new perceptions and possibilities. Through our combined vision, the world can be reborn into a place where darkness no longer prevails. Join me, Gwilda Wiyaka, and the Science of Magic daily on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, xzbn.net, or visit us at thescienceofmagic.net.
Gibbs A. Williams, Ph.D., is a practicing psychoanalyst, supervisor, researcher, and author in New York City. Much of his life has been dedicated to understanding nature and the uses of meaningful coincidences or synchronicities. His radical and original non-Jungian, non-mystical, non-magical theory of synchronicities illuminates much of the fog surrounding this challenging and perplexing topic. His ideas and manners are fresh, presented in a style that is both entertaining and highly informative. He is also an expert on crisis intervention, specially focused on violence reduction for the police and citizens, mastering anxiety, frustration, and stress without the use of medication, and effectively preventing and treating heroin addiction. Dr. Williams can be contacted at his email address at gwwilliamsny11@aol.com or visit his website at
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
True healing must address 4 levels: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, for us to live joyful and productive lives. We tend to treat 3 of the 4, leaving the spiritual languishing. If you're tired of the same dysfunctional patterns cropping up in your life, Soul Balancing is for you. Trixie Phelps, owner and founder of Soul Balancing, is a naturally gifted energy healer trained in numerous esoteric forms, including shamanism. Trixie has created a powerful modality that safely and effectively clears your energetic field. A soul balancing session can remove interference, heal trauma, and restore your hope. Contact Trixie for a life-changing long-distance session today. www.soulbalancing.world.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the X-Zone. I am Rob McConnell, and Vicki Ann Bush is our special guest this hour. Her website, VickiAnnBush.com, and I'm going to spell it for you, VickiAnnBush.com. And Vicki is joining us from Las Vegas, Nevada. So Vicki, you, during the break, you and I were talking briefly, and I was asking you, hey, did you ever find out who the man in the plaid shirt was? And you hadn't, and yet you apparently had seen him after you moved. Did I get that right?
My mom and dad, I saw him at my house because at that time, then I was married. I had my kids. Mm-hmm. I saw him at my house. My mom saw him at her house. My daughter saw him at both houses. And when my mom and dad sold their house and moved, all three of us stopped seeing him. I don't know how it correlates. Yeah. It just stopped seeing him.
So tell me, why did you decide to become a paranormal author?
When I was 13 back in New York, mm-hmm. The schools were having a citywide contest. And you had to write a story, construct the book. My first book was actually a mystery, Joe Brady, Master Detective. And my dad helped me construct it. He drew some artwork for it. But I fell in love with the whole process of writing. And for years I would write, but I would just write for me and just put it away, store it away in a box. And it wasn't until my daughters were actually older that they started pushing me. I started off with children's books. And my publisher at the time was talking about how young adult fiction was mm-hmm. really coming, into popularity. Right. And she said, I think you would really be good at this. Why don't you give it a shot, And I thought, all right. Well, I have a very vivid imagination, probably because of the kind of things that go on in my life. And so the first thing I wrote was called Through the Door to Dusk. And it was actually a novella. And it was about a young man who sees a girl and falls in love with her and finds out that she's from a town from 1899 Vegas. And they're trapped in an alternate dimension. And they can only come through during dusk to gather whatever food or things that they need. And then he goes through the process of trying to save them. I got the idea from the mountain behind my house because it's Sunrise Mountain. And I would sit there and look at the mountain, and it just inspired me. And from there, the story took off.
How many books have you written since you started?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just asking how many books you've written since you first started writing.
Well, I just finished my 11th. Mm-hmm. I have 10 that's published. I'm working on my 12th right now. A lot of my stuff from earlier days is still just put away.
So what influences you as an author?
Gosh, everything. Everything. I mean, the people I meet, the places I go, mm-hmm. The surroundings. It could be anything. It could be the way someone drinks a glass of water, if that makes any sense.
So it's whatever inspires you in life.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Exactly. And why do you think that in the year 2017, people have still such a great interest in the paranormal, whether it be fiction, whether it be reality, whether it be radio, television, books, magazines, or just chatting about the paranormal around a fire?
Because I think for most people, the paranormal has some kind of truth to it. Mm-hmm. When you say fiction, yes, it's, when I write a book, the idea, the storyline may be fiction, but it's based off of things that many people see, hear, and I think it's that question for, what really does happen afterwards? I think everybody always asks that question to themselves, and whether, you say that, you don't believe in anything afterwards, mm-hmm. you still have some kind of doubt. I have to believe that you're still curious.
But how can we be curious about something there's no proof to substantiate any claim or belief?
Well, I think it depends on what you consider proof. I mean, I think I have proof in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I can see things and hear things, and so can other people in my family, to me that's proof. You know.
But let me ask you this question: what is that proof of?
To me, it's proof of that our energy, our life force, whatever you want to call it, does go on in some way after the physical body is gone. So it may not be like, you know, the traditional thoughts of there's heaven, there's hell, there's these things, but more that it's the next step in your life force.
Does the paranormal or the events that you are part of, does it frighten you?
No. You know, it's funny. I don't think I can ever remember really being frightened. You know, I take that back. When I was 10 and I first felt the brush on my cheek, that scared me a little bit. But then I realized that if someone or something is brushing my cheek in a soft way, they're not out to hurt me. So, no, it doesn't scare me. Not the things I see.
Do you go out on paranormal investigations, or do you just keep the paranormal to yourself?
I keep it to myself because too many times we talk to people like me and my daughters, you know, it may come up in conversation, and we kind of get the look sometimes, so I figure let's just keep it quiet.
And yet you write about it. Do you use an outlet. Do you use a pen name, or do you use your real name?
I use my real name.
So why wouldn't you want to talk to people about it? Isn't that a part of being an author and marketing yourself, is to talk to people?
Let me rephrase.
Okay.
I will if it's somebody who seems genuinely interested,
Okay.
and like you said to me, why is it you write paranormal? I'm going to answer that question. Okay. But if I'm in a conversation with someone about just normal daily activity, I'm not going to say, oh, by the way, I saw this person in jeans and a t-shirt at my house the other night, you know, for 2 seconds, and they were standing right in front of me. That wouldn't come up in normal conversation.
No, but it could come up another way. Like, can you believe this? The other night I was in my house, and you know what I saw? A guy standing there in a t-shirt and jeans.
Well, I do that with people who are close to me, but not for people on the outer circle.
But it's the people in the outer circle who are going to buy your books.
That's true. You've got a point. Yes. But then they think they're reading fiction.
But you
They
told me,
are, in a
but
sense.
but you
They
see,
are.
you told
Storyline.
us a little while ago that to you it's not fiction.
No, what I said is experiences are not fiction. I mean, if I write a story about aliens, I mean, I haven't been in another world. You know, that's fiction. That's out of my head. Okay. Because I do have a sci-fi too. But I mean, when I write the paranormal, let's just say the Dust Chronicles. I mean, I didn't see people coming through from a town from 1899. I just experienced other things that I use it as an outlet to filter.
All right. So, what would you be filtering? What would require that outlet?
Well, you know, it's all the stuff that's going on around me in my head. I mean, okay, it's like this. If you're sitting at a circus or a carnival, okay, and you're watching 4 different things go on at the same time, don't you have a tendency to try and focus on one?
I've got to tell you something. Carnivals and circuses don't turn me on.
No, they don't turn me on either.
Yeah.
It was just, I just used it as a museum.
Actually, no. I would, if I've got 3 things going on in front of me, I will be watching 3 things. Not at the same time. I'd be scanning.
You're a guy. Guys can watch a wall of TVs.
Well, this is what I do for a living.
Yeah.
I'm in the media. You know, the X-Zone is just a small part of what I do.
Okay.
But, you know, so I have to keep on watching TV, so I have to watch the news feeds, I have to watch the different computer screens. This is the way I've been all my life. I multitask. So if I'm just going to put my mind to focusing on one thing, you know what, I'm going to be so bored.
But I'm not focusing on one thing. There's so many things going on in my mind. Remember, I'm constantly having writing ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a story always playing out in my head.
Right.
You know, so it's let's just say it's an expression. Let's put it that way. It's an expression.
So what do you write about? Do you write about ghosts? Do you write about extraterrestrials? Do you write about out-of-body experiences, Sasquatch? What is your main theme?
You know, most of them are more demons and angels and things of that nature. Like I said, I do have a sci-fi, but I only have the one. But they're more paranormal and romance. There's always usually an underlining romance in most of them going on at the same time. So pretty much, you know, the lead characters are going through these situations, but they're going through them as couples.
Give us an example.
Okay. Like Fulfillment series. That is basically Angels and Demons. Mm-hmm. And the idea is that it starts in Boulder City, Nevada. And the teenagers, normal, you know, teenagers going to school, they think they're normal. And they come to find out that their parents are really angels and archangels who are undercover, let's just say, you know, here and waiting for when the rise of Lucifer is going to try and rise again. And they find out that some of them are archangels by birth. And Luke, the lead, whose father is Gabriel, falls in love with Mary. And Mary is half archdemon, and her mother is Lilith. So they are in a war to save humanity, but at the same time, they're 17-year-old kids who are in love. And she has to fight her dark side, and he is pure light.
So opposites attract.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they do.
And that is why I was noticing that you put a lot of religious philosophies in the way that you think. You know, angels, demons, good, bad. Mm-hmm. So listen, we've got to take our news break at the bottom of the hour. Please stand by. Exonation. Our guest this hour is Vicki Ann Bush. She's an author of paranormal romances. And if you'd like to find out more about Vicki, visit her website at www.vickiannbush.com. This is the X-Zone. I am Rob McConnell, coming to you from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, on the XZBN radio and TV network. Don't forget, you can always find out more about the X-Zone Broadcast Network at our main website at www.xzbn.net. Don't go away.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401 0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
I am Dr. Carl O'Helvey, founder, president of a new cancer foundation focusing on evidence-based physical, mental, and spiritual interventions, including natural cancer cures, prayer, meditation, affirmations, nutrition, and other related holistic cancer prevention and cure modalities. These are used in cancer education, research, and financing care. I ask for your help to continue this important work by donating at www.holisticcancerfoundation.com.
Wouldn't you love to know the secret to everything? I'm Dr. Kimberly McGeorge, and on The Secret to Everything, we will merge the practical with open investigation into all realms of the mysterious. We will talk to cutting-edge alternative health practitioners, those who inspire and motivate you in business and life, and of course, we will share stories of the paranormal, conspiracy, and cryptozoology. You will transform because of the frequency I carry, the frequencies my guests carry. Life may never be the same after you listen to this program, for the secret to everything is for you, the listener, for those who desire more in every area of their lives and believe that it can still be found. Listen and discover thesecrettoeverything.com.
Little children aren't the only ones afraid of the dark. Millions of soldiers return from war zones with PTSD, anger, frustration, fear, and loneliness, much of which surfaces during the darkness of the night. You have the chance to change the lives of these American heroes. Songs and Stories for Soldiers.us provides free MP3 players for these men and women. With a list of 3 million songs in 16 different styles, 100,000 audiobooks, and 30,000 old-time radio programs, every veteran can find something to soothe and comfort them at no cost. All our players contain an 8-hour audio program designed to help veterans fall asleep. With 1,500 plus vets now participating, it's our goal to deliver 10,000 audio players this year. Go to our website at songsandstoriesforsoldiers.us. Help us help a veteran make it through the night.
Vicki Ann Bush is my guest this hour. Exonation, www.vickiannbush.com. She is an author of paranormal novels. She does science fiction, historical fiction. Is that what it's called, Vicki?
Historical romance.
Historical romance, I'm sorry. And I thought we'd let our audience hear the other side of an author that I don't think very many people know and understand, that as you're typing, you're painting a picture that you're taking from your mind into the book, putting it onto the words, that the reader picks up the book, and they create your reality at the time within your book. I just love it.
Thank you.
Vicki, what do you think the impact of the electronic media has been in the publishing industry for you, an author?
It's opened up a whole new world, and, you got to either roll with it or you get left back, if that makes sense.
Sure does.
There's a lot more competition because of things like that, because of the electronic. We have people who are, a lot of self-publishing now, and the how can I say this? It just makes for a wider ocean of waves. So it's like you either have to learn how to go with it, or you're going to get hit and knocked under.
Swim or sink, right?
Yeah, or sink. So it can be fun though. It can be fun because it can be stimulating. A little bit of change and I don't know. It can be good.
Vicki, everyone hears of the saying that everyone has a story inside of them. How would you, as an accomplished author, how would you best get people to sit down and get the story from within them and put it in a media that they can share with others?
That's really a good question, because I get asked that all the time, from other people saying,
Sure.
I want to write a book. I have a book in my head, or, I've been thinking about it for years. And, I just tell them, I go, sit down, stop talking about it and sit down. Just start. It doesn't matter that, what you're putting down in the beginning, because you're learning. Okay. But just get it going, get it flowing, and it'll come out from there. People who think that writing is easy are mistaken. It's discipline. It's there are times where I know, I'd rather be at the movies with friends, but you
Sure.
have to make sure that you get the job done, or you don't get any more books out there. But so it starts with the one. So if you have an idea, don't sit for 10 years saying, I got this idea, I should really do it. Just do it. Just do it. Do it in your spare time. Sit down and start typing.
I've heard a few times where somebody has had a great idea for a book and they've kept it within them for years, and the next thing you know, somebody else puts out that book and they say, look at that, they took my idea.
Mm-hmm.
No, they didn't take your idea. They just came up with the idea themselves and they decided to move on it. Well, you sat on your duff watching football and drinking beer.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. You have to. There is a certain amount of discipline that you just have to. I read a thing. I don't know. I don't know if it's true. It was Stephen King had put in it was an article,
right?
And he said that as a writer, you should write every day for at least 2 hours. You should discipline yourself, and it makes so much sense, because if you don't, and it's like anything else, if you don't practice your craft, it gets away from you. So I would think it's the same principle as starting. If you don't start, it will continuously get away from you.
Vicki, we're coming down to the final 5 minutes of this hour. Again, thank you so much for joining us, and I wish you much success and keep the great work up. What would your top 5 things that new authors or people considering to be authors should do?
Okay. One, if start. If you have an idea, get it down get it in written word. 2, if you're going to start sending it out, make sure it's edited. Make sure it's a clean, copy, because then when someone does say they want to look at your work, because you don't start off sending out your manuscript, you start off sending out query letters. When you do send out your queries and you do get someone, you'll have your work that's ready to hand in. Otherwise, they won't look at it. Okay. 3, don't get discouraged. I have a binder that's filled with letters, that rejection. I call it my little inconvenience binder, and it's a reminder that not everybody has the same taste as I am, or not everybody sees the same vision.
Right.
Just because someone says no doesn't mean you shouldn't try it. How many things are we up to, Rob? Is that 4?
That's number 4.
Number 5, It's simple. Just don't give up. Don't give up. If this is your passion and you love this and this is what you want to do, then keep doing it. Because you do it for yourself. If everything else happens after that, that's great. But you will always be doing it primarily first off for yourself.
I have an uncle who's a salesman. And in many respects, an author is a salesperson because, like you said, these query letters that you send out. And he always says, the sale starts when the person says no.
Mm-hmm. And that's when I'm my most tenacious.
Yeah.
It is. People tell me all the time, friends tell me, boy, you don't take no. And I said, no, I don't know how. It's hard for me to take no.
And that's why you're successful. So what have you got in the works? Any future book plans that you can share with us without giving us the idea?
Yeah. Right now, actually, I just finished a novel that it's based on some some subject matter that's near and dear to my heart. It is paranormal. The family is paranormal. They have paranormal experiences. But the lead character is a 17-year-old transgender boy.
Wow.
And I'm trying to bring that into mainstream because that's a subject matter, like I said, that's near and dear to my heart. Right now I'm working on the final book of the Fulfillment series. That's the one we just talked about the angels and demons. I'm working on that. And then once that's done, I'll go ahead and we'll those are novellas, and we'll go ahead and complete the series.
See, I can understand why people would like the angel demon book. I think that's a great that is something that is really good.
Thank you.
I have a problem with everybody who likes these Walking Dead things. What's your take on that?
Sometimes I enjoy it, but to me, it's so one-dimensional because they're Walking Dead.
Yeah.
What are we going to do from there? They're Walking Dead. Okay. Some run faster than others. I can tell you that. Some are like the zombie, and they're real slow. Some are crazy and they run really fast. I think that's about the scope of it. I'm not going to say, it's there's an audience for everything.
That is so true. That is so true. And my wife is one of those who just loves The Walking Dead. And I just shake my head and I say, why? And she'll look at me. And between my wife and I, we have 6 kids. We have 10 grandchildren. And she'll look at me with that look as if I'm supposed to know.
Yeah.
That look. And I say, why? And then I get that famous line that every husband in the world has heard. Well, if you don't know, I'm not going to tell you. So tell our audience where they can get copies of your books.
They are available at Amazon.com. And Amazon has a complete library of my books. Also Barnes & Noble, but not as complete of a library online. And also, if they go to my website, VickiAnnBush.com, it'll take them right over to the buy link as well.
30 seconds for your final word of wisdom as an author to our listening audience around the world.
I think authors are a struggling breed, and we need the readers, the people out there who truly love books and still love to flip a page, or even on a Kindle or a Nook, but we need them to keep out there and keep reading and keep supporting us, because we're here. We don't want to go away, and we want to keep entertaining you.
Vicki Ann Bush, thank you so much for sharing your time with us here tonight in the X Zone. Like I said, I wish you continued success, and I look forward to the next time you join us back here in the X Zone. Thank you for everything you do, Vicki.
Thank you.
X Zone Nation, Vicki Ann Bush, www.vickiannbush.com. I'll be back on the other side of this break with the news as we continue here in the X Zone with yours truly, Rob McConnell, from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Hamilton, oh geez, I nearly said some other place. Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.